You take up and start looking around the scenes of the battle, trying to see if you can find anyone that may have survived. You certainly don't see Lascelles or Katir, but eventually, near a pile of imps and one of the Devilkin, you do see someone you recognize, or half of a person that you recognize. Thermal looks even more destroyed than she did the last time you saw her. Almost like an explosion emanated out from the robotic part of her body, and indeed, the imps and devils surrounding her all lay dead with burns and chunks of shrapnel protruding from them.
I think Ayla just lands and doesn't know what to say.
Kelsey also hurries over and drops down to her knees. Oh no. No. Suddenly the body twitches, and Thermal's eyes glance up at Kelsey, opening. Looking at her desperately, her mouth opens and a few clicks escape. Kelsey holds her. Hey. Oh, hey, you. Oh, you're gonna be fine. I just need to, Her voice trails off as she looks over the injuries and damages. But the organic hand of Thermal comes up and pushes Kelsey's chin up to look at her face instead. Her mouth opens and a man's voice emanates out of it. We escaped, sir! And then another voice follows it up, this one deeper and more gruff. I got the bastards. Kelsey nods in understanding, tears filling her eyes. And reaching down to the pack on her hip, Thermal draws out a small rectangular cartridge of some sort. It's deep gray with a small line of black ribbon in it, and she offers it to Kelsey, who takes it just as Thermal breathes her last. Her eyes lose focus, and she goes limp, dying in Kelsey's arms. Kelsey just holds her.
She made sure the others escaped.
Yeah. Brave idiot. Holding the cartridge for a long moment, she exhales through her nose before opening a panel on the machine side of Thermal's neck and pushing the cartridge into a slot there. A moment later, a soft, feminine voice emanates from Thermal's lifeless body. If I had one wish, it would be that I could record this in my own voice. But the fates are seldom so kind as to grant us our wishes. So I must pay someone to lend me their voice for this. If you're hearing this, then I hope my death didn't cause you any undue stress, Captain. The last 8 years serving as your ship's engineer have been the best of my life, bar none. And I wouldn't trade them for anything. But now I must tell the truth in death that I didn't have the courage to in life. I've loved you since the day I met you. Since the very first time we spoke in the Primus air dock, I've known you were my one and only. But you only ever had eyes for Lascelles. And when my disfigurement happened, I gave up my dream of you one day looking at me like you do her. But I never stopped loving you. I hold no ill will. You took me into your family. You named me Cheyenne's godmother. And you've always made me feel welcome on the Nightwing. And so I kept my secret, not daring to risk destroying the wonderful family I found. But in death, I can finally share it without fear of ruining that which I cared most about. Farewell, Captain. And please remind whoever replaces me that the crystal generator has a tendency to run hot at lower altitudes. With all my love, Jezra. And Kelsey just collapses and starts crying, holding her.